All right, City of Forest Park, public hearing. The time is a little after 6:30. We're just going to start with a presentation from our Assistant Finance Director, Ms. Yu.
So submitted in front of you is our draft of the city's proposed 2024 tax budget. And the primary purpose of the tax budget is to demonstrate to the county budget commission the city's need for property tax. So and this budget is prepared in compliance with the counties with the format that the county provided. So the first page, the cover, that's the basic information of the city, and the next page is about notice of public hearing, which is we are having today, and our clerk of council already sent the notice of public hearing around June the 20th. So yeah, we have this part done already. And for the third page is about the state's local government funds revenue, which stays same as 2023. So for page 4, we have no change expected in population and the lane miles for 2024, so I didn't put any changes in there. It stayed the same. So from page 5 to the end, that's our the detail of the tax budget. The first 2 pages, or page 5, and oh, sorry. I think next page is the still Schedule B, is the So yeah, start from page 5. That's our general funds, and wait a minute. Sorry, I said it wrong. It's not general fund. Just start from page 5. That's the property tax that we expected for the year of 2024. That we're going to submit it to the county, and for general fund, it's going to be 1.3 million and 1,315,000, and for fair levy fund, we have 5,450,000. And for next page in Exhibit 1, that's the general funds, and we start with the revenue for 2024. The property tax part, we just maxed out the property tax we might have, and that's because the inflation and the reappraisal value of the property going on this year. So yeah, we put 1.2 million for the real property tax, and other than that, we didn't change too much based on the number we have for 2023. So yeah, the total revenue for general funds in we budget for 2024 is about 1% increase as of 2023. So that's mainly because of the property tax we expect to increase during the year. For the other funds, for the fair levy, for the expenditure of general funds. Expenditure part, we still expect to increase 3%, and that's because of the police department's new contract of this year. So that's a big increase to the general fund. Also, we have increased expenditures in some, we have also increased expenditures in the activities that we are going to provide it to the city. And so it ends up with the expenditure will increase by 3% compared to the year of 2023 estimated. So it will give us a deficit of $835 to $200. That's the expenditure over revenue, and that's the whole picture of what we have for general fund for 2024. So.
Well, you made a little bit of this in terms of a little background for the folks. Again, the tax budget this is the first step to the budget process. The first step, this is a form that the county requires, and all it really does is establish revenues. So this document here will establish the revenues that we have, and we get a certificate of estimated resources as a result of this. Once we receive the certificate of estimated resources, which is an estimate, the main thing that's generated on that we need from the county is the actual estimate for property tax revenue for the city. So the certificate of estimated resources is the beginning of the budget process, and that allows us to set our revenues. And once we set our revenues, then we'll be able to go and budget those monies for expenditures. But the main purpose of this tax budget is to establish revenues. It's not an actual budget per se, in terms of it does not appropriate money to anyone or any issue. So all these expenditures in here are only estimates. The actual budget process will involve, once we receive the certificate of estimated resources back, that'll be our revenue start. We'll be having meetings with council. We'll be having meetings with department heads, and we'll be establishing an actual expenditure budget that will be the actual appropriations budget for the city as part of this process. But this is the first step toward beginning that budget process here in the city of Forest Park. So if you're watching from home, if you're looking at this, it's not, we're not actually appropriating money for any of these items here in 2024. It's just an estimate of what could happen if things stay the same. And so we would hope that the council, tonight it's the public hearing, and it's been distributed, it's been available, and the next process it'll be on the next council meeting. We would need to get that approved and submit that to the county before the deadline, which is, I think, coming up. And so we'll ask the council approve it at their next council meeting. Of course, we'll be able to discuss it at the next meeting for the workshop, or the council workshop at the next meeting, and then, of course, it'll be on the agenda for the following council meeting. So I think that kind of summarizes a little bit of why we're doing this.
So thanks for that summary, Ms. Hugh or Don. Are we saying that we are anticipating a 3% increase in the police department budget only from the new contract, or is it 3% increase for the police department and the increased activities that we're anticipating for next year?
That's
in the expenditures.
That would be both.
So 3% for
yes,
total for both.
For the total expenditures, maintaining current expenditure levels, increasing the increase for the new contract in 2024, and then again, some things may go down, some things may go up, but so that's the entire department. The main driver of that is personnel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any increase. Again, that's just a current estimate.
Yeah. Just as the city manager said, it's all the numbers might go up and down after the hearings with different departments, and so it's the purpose of the tax budget is to levy tax. So it's the expenditure part might be changed. Yeah.
This is a proof that it's really a certificate of need. It proves that it's our certificate to the county saying we need our property taxes at the current millage, and asking them to assess the full millage in terms of, but this proves that we need it. And so that's kind of the process. But yes, the process would be, if we just stayed the same, yeah, it might be a 3%, but it may be less, it may be more, based on how we budget our money next year, and what programs and we may expand, and what programs we may cut back on. And that's across the board for all departments. So we may expand a program in one department and reduce a program in another department in an attempt to, to even out the budget. So it's that process is beginning, but it hasn't really started yet. The first step will be the revenue piece. This is the first step. The next step will be meetings and talking with City Council to get our strategic goals in order, make sure we understand what programs are important and what may need to be added. We'll get with our department heads and talk with them as well, and make them justify their expenditures. And if there's ways we can trim the budget, we will. And if we want to add programs, then we'll see if we can put them into the budget. And if we can, great. If not, if we can, then maybe we have to do something else in another department or somewhere else in the budget, or come up with a revenue stream that's not already in here. There's a few revenue streams that we're talking about, such as rental registration, that aren't incorporated into this model yet. But they will be, as well as some additional fees as well.
And are we also saying, based on this, just preliminary, are we also saying that potentially, based on the reassessment from the county this year, we're estimating that the assessed value on properties are going up this year? Do we have an estimate on the percentage of how much?
No, the county have not come out the final
Instead of-
value yet, so yeah,
Okay.
we have no information about that. Everything is estimate, is a guess, yeah.
But the county will actually give us a number. They'll give us the number that they believe will be the correct, and it's pretty darn accurate.
Yeah.
They'll give us the number that we can use in our budget moving forward.
Okay.
Property taxes, other than the fire department fund, the property taxes are a significant amount of our budget, but they are not, fluctuations in those are not that drastic in terms of causing, us to, react too much, because they don't go up that much, they don't go down that much as a percentage of the budget. They're not half of the budget. The biggest portion of our budget in terms of revenues is income taxes, not property taxes. But the fire department is funded 100% on, well, almost 100% on property taxes. So that is a different fund, the fire fund. It's segregated from the rest of the general fund budget.
Right.
And so we really pay attention to that. Changes in valuations really do affect the fire department and its budget.
Okay. All right, does anybody have any questions for our Assistant Finance Director?
And this percentage of the rate that the county has full leverage, the percentage of the rate that's given by the county, they have full leverage on what that percentage would be, and the city has to take action to move according to what that rate is set. I'm just for clarity on my
Yeah,
part.
what ends up happening is we'll submit this, and then that will generate a certificate of estimated resources, which will have the numbers that we put on there.
Right.
But the changed numbers that the county will put on there will be the actual property tax estimates from them. And then in that process, there's another process as part of the budget process. It's called accepting the rates. So we're asking through this process that they assess the full millage that has been passed by the city. The only voted millage we have is is the fire millage. So we ask that they assess those millage, those mills, and so then they will go through the process, and they'll send us something back that says, here's your rates. We agree we're going to assess these rates, and then we will accept those rates, or we could not accept them, but I've never been anywhere where we didn't accept them.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so they give us the rates, and we can accept them as part of the process here. And that really sets what the rates will be in terms on the tax duplicates for each person and each homeowner. It sets those rates that'll be assessed in 2024.
Okay.
Okay. All right, well, thank you for that explanation, Don. All right, does anybody else have any other questions for our Assistant Finance Director? All right, thank you so much, Ms. Yu.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Does anybody from the public want to speak on this particular topic? Again, does anyone else from the public have any questions on this topic? All right, hearing none. At this time, we're going to close the public hearing, and we will reconvene at 7 o'clock, so in 10 minutes for council work session. For city council meeting. All right, City of Forest Park City Council meeting number 1418. Today is the 3rd of July. The time is now 7 p.m. We are going to start by standing and saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
All right, moving on to the agenda, starting with item number 1. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Present.
Brown,
Here.
Clark, Harrison,
Here.
Holt,
Here.
Moore,
Here.
Sylvester.
Okay, I need a motion to excuse Councilmember Clark.
I give a motion to excuse Councilmember Clark.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor, let it be known by the sound of voting aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, Councilmember Clark is excused, and that concludes item number 1. Moving on to item number 2 of the agenda, which is the minutes. Has everyone received the minutes? All right, are there any changes or corrections to be made? All right, hearing none, we're going to move on to item number 3, which is presentations, and we do not have any at this time. Don, I'm going to instruct you to, we need to continue the business of the month. So if you can partner with, our planning department, and then for the next council meeting, if we can have a business of the month, because we do want to honor all of the businesses that, are up to code and continue to be wonderful citizens of Forest Park. We want to celebrate that and let these businesses know that they're valued. All right, but that concludes item number 3, which is presentations. So we're going to move to item number 4, which is communications from the public. So this is a time for citizens to comment on matters before council or to ask questions of concern to them. So when recognized, please come forward to the podium, give your name and address, then state your comments or questions. Council meetings are tape recorded for ease of transcription, but comments are limited to 5 minutes. So if there's anyone from the public who would like to address council on any matter, please come to the podium now. Okay, thank you.
Good evening.
Good
Evening.
There's no pen. Bill Brocker, Folkestone Drive, been here 56 years. So, my question or concern is Cantor Field. I've tried addressing public recs. I've emailed a couple people in the city. What is going on? The place looks like hell. Weeds growing up. You can't see the ball fields anymore. I thought I heard there was some kind of a project going to go on, but I didn't think we were that close that we would start not even maintaining the fields, but that is my question or concern.
Okay. All right. So first, you said Mr. Brocker?
Brocker.
Brocker, okay. Well, thank you for coming out tonight, because you are the first resident to come at our new time of 7 p.m. So we
I
just
watch
want
the meetings, I watch his podcast.
we appreciate an engaged resident like you. So to answer your question, the city does own Cantor Park and a number of parcels surrounding that area. There are plans currently I don't know if you saw it in the Cincinnati Enquirer. We mentioned it there, but there are plans currently to redevelop that park and then to add several more amenities, including new businesses and possibly a residential element. But currently, parks are supposed to be maintained by our Public Works Department. So we appreciate you bringing this to our attention. I will have to defer to the city manager to determine exactly how often we're going over there, because if it's something that,
Basically mowing it, they're not trimming the weeds,
It's
they're
not-
growing up the fences, the
Okay.
fields, you can't even see them. I asked someone on Parks and Rec, and she said we can't even discuss it in meetings, so
okay.
there's a problem.
All right, so, like I said, I appreciate you bringing that to our attention. We'll probably have to speak to Public Works about going over there and trimming weeds in particular. There are a number of residents who still do use the park, but at some point, once we begin to get shovel-ready, as they say, it'll be new and improved. So currently, you know, pardon our dust, and we appreciate engaged citizens like you coming and bringing this to our attention. But there are a few residents who do still currently use the park and facilities, but everything is a bit dated. It's time for an upgrade anyway.
I'll go down there and take a look at it. In fact, I'll go down this evening and take a look at it.
There's a flag that flies all the time, there's no light ever on it anymore. It's
So we'll take a look at it and we'll make the improvements that need to be made, because, yeah, it needs, in the meantime, it needs to be presentable. So, thank you.
All right. But yeah, once again, thank you. But like I said, when we do break ground on that, we'll probably make a big, you know, ceremony and everything, and we would appreciate if you come to that as well. All right. Okay. All right. Are there any other communications from the public at this time? All right. Hearing none, that concludes item number 4 on the agenda. So we're going to move to item number 5, which is the reports of standing committees, and we're going to start with Councilmember Adams.
Thank you, Mayor. And again, Mr. Booker, thank you for coming to the council meeting, and I do appreciate the swift response and engagement of our mayor and our city manager to address your issues. I do have a couple of things that I'd like to bring up, and I will make them brief but as succinct as possible. The first one is, as we discuss the aesthetics of Cantor Park, I'd like to also discuss some of the aesthetics of the track and the football field at Winton Woods High School. I do recognize that the city and the school are interconnected, but the field itself, the glory, it needs to be kept, and I don't know if that's a conversation that we can have with the school. There are residents that go over to the track and walk the track and things like that, but there's debris, there are drums, there are those industrial drums, I guess that's what you want to call them, and several other items that are just not aesthetically appealing. You go to some of the other cities, like I was in St. Bernard, Roger Bacon, their field is pristine. And I believe that our residents deserve to have something just as neat and clean as well. So my second conversation I'd like to bring up for discussion and or maybe a work item for council is that the beautification committee, we did our judging last week. Our judging was for 2 days, the 25th and the 26th. We got calls afterwards asking us to come back out. We'd like to change that. We want to set it up where it will be just as it is for the holiday, where you call in and request that your yard is judged, as opposed to us going out. We hit all the streets, and yet we got phone calls and stuff later saying, hey, we want you to come back. And some of the homes, there may have been 1 or 2 marigolds, and that was it. And that's probably why they didn't get a flag initially. So we want to minimize having to redo it and change the part where we just go out. But like we do the holiday, residents are able to call in and say, hey, come judge my home. So I want to put that on the agenda for discussion for council, because we'll need to change that.
Okay, thank you for that,
Thank you,
Councilmember
sir.
Adams. To your point, residents do use the the school track. And to that end, that is a matter for the school. But in addition to that, since we are making improvements to Central Park, we will be adding our own track that will be city maintained. So we'll take those, those comments into consideration as it relates to making sure that the facility is up to date, always clean. We can have a conversation with the school, but those are their own facilities to maintain entirely. And to the second point about beautification, this is for the yard contest, correct?
Yes, sir.
And when did that event take place?
We did it last weekend on the
Last weekend.
25th and the 26th, I believe it was.
Okay. And do you happen to
then-
know how many ribbons were given out?
No, I know I gave out, we split this task up amongst our commission.
Mhm.
And I know myself, I gave out probably 20 or so. And that was just for the streets that I did, but each of the commissions had several streets that they did. Collectively, I do not know the number.
Okay.
I can get that number for you though, Mayor.
Okay. I was only asking because there are a lot of residents who love to participate in our yard contest. They're always contacting me or other members of council about the fact that they didn't get a ribbon, and I just want people to be clear that I'm not on the beautification commission, so I am not a judge. But I just wanted to let people know that it did take place. You
Yes,
said
sir,
took
it did
last
take
weekend.
place.
Okay.
And we did our due diligence. However, what has happened, we did the judging again. May I briefly say, we did the judging on Saturday and Sunday. We got calls Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We want you to come back out. Some of those homes, all of those homes, I dare to say we did look at, but maybe the house next to you or across the street from you had more flowers and was more aesthetically appealing. But we'd like to set it up as we do our holiday judging, where you call in and say, I want you to come visit or see my house,
Okay.
as opposed to us just going out and about doing it. We
Okay,
believe
yeah.
it'd be better for us, and with the amount of members we have on the commission, we believe it would be even more manageable.
Right. Okay, so just to be clear, people were calling in to ask to have their home evaluated by the commission, which you were on, and a
Yes,
few
sir.
other members of Beautification Commission. Every home is beautiful, but not everybody's getting a ribbon.
That's
So-
true. And for those residents, just one moment for me, First Vice Mayor. Yes, we will love to have those names and numbers next year, and addresses next year, so that we can have it in this process, this new process that we're proposing. And I'll still be here next year, if God is willing, and so we will take those names and numbers and work with our clerk to be able to, clerk of council, to be able to leverage all of that and make sure that we're able to get to those homes efficiently and timely. Yes,
I just wanted to make a comment. I used to be on the Beautification Commission, and that's nothing new, that people call back the next day
Yes, ma'am.
and, think that they should have gotten a flag. Some people get flags that shouldn't get flags, and then other people that think they should get them didn't get them. But there are certain guidelines.
Yes, ma'am.
And everybody that has one flower in their yard doesn't mean that, they're deserving of a flag. So it's just, I don't think that will ever change, even though you have the people call and say, can you judge my yard? And then you get there and say, no, I don't think you deserve a flag. So it's not gonna ever change. It's it's a vicious cycle.
It is a vicious cycle.
It will not change.
But that goes to say how much pride people take in taking care of their homes, and it is a wonderful, just a wonderful contest that we have. So I don't have any work session items for you, Councilmember Adams. Do you have any to add?
No, sir, I don't have any work sessions outside of this beautification discussion of our how we're gonna handle it next year, but thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Moving on to Councilmember Harrison.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and council. Just like to remind everybody that tomorrow is Independence Day. The United States will be 246 years old. So to our residents of Forest Park, if you're going to set off any fireworks tonight or tomorrow night, please be safe. We don't want to hear any stories about people going to the emergency room with missing appendages. regarding the HR committee, we did interview resident Robin Shabazz last week on the 28th, and we did vote her in for the economic committee, so she will be sworn in on the 17th of July. So for those residents, if you want to be a part of our committees, our mini committees, because I know we need a beautification committee is looking for more people. I heard that earlier. So if you'd like to be a part of that or any other committee, please submit a resume and application to the clerk of courts, and we'll make sure you get an interview.
All right, thank you for that, council member. Do you have any work session items to add at this time?
No, sir, I do not.
One question.
Sure.
Do we have any openings on the civil service? Do you know?
I have to check. I will get that answer to you.
Okay, great, thank you.
That's actually a good point, because we do need to fill commission seats. All right, moving on to First Vice Mayor Holt.
I do not have a report tonight, thank you, and I have nothing to add for next week, next meeting.
Thank you for that. First Vice Mayor, moving on to Second Vice Mayor, Dr. Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to let the residents know that the Quality of Life Commissioners and Commissions meet the fourth Tuesday of each month at 6:30 in room 3B. And so it is open to the public, so we encourage you to come out and give us ideas and see what's going on in the community. And so we look forward to implementing your ideas. So Quality of Life, the fourth Tuesday of the month. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that, Dr. Moore. And I don't have any work session items for you. Would you like to add any?
I would like to see who is responsible for the out in front of Skyline, their, I guess their wall. Is that city property? Retaining wall? Who's responsible for that retaining wall?
I'll find out.
Okay,
I think it's theirs, but we'll find out.
okay.
Okay. All right. All right, thank you for that. And then moving on to Councilmember Sylvester.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, just a comment in regards to the residents about our road work that's happening. Things are still active. The project is still alive. There are things that has to fall in place with the process. We just ask that residents be a bit patient with their travels, pay attention, because there are some distractions, some items of work items that are in place that could deviate on your view of traffic. So we just ask that you be patient, do a little slow down as you travel through those work areas. But other than that, just want to wish everyone a happy 4th of July, and with being quick and to the point, be safe and enjoy.
Thank you for that, Councilmember Sylvester. Do you have any work session items to add?
No, sir.
All right. And that concludes item number 5, which is reports of standing committees. Moving on to item number 6 of the agenda, which is the mayor's report. I don't have much to report this time. The city's long-term mayor's court magistrate, Deborah Gaines, is actually retiring. So we want to thank her for her years of dedicated service. And there will be a city letter and proclamation sent out to her to commemorate that. But I am going to appoint her replacement, which we will have, if not swearing in at the next mayor's court, which is this upcoming Thursday. I'll bring her to the next council meeting. It's going to be attorney Elizabeth Ty. She has over 25 years of experience as an attorney. She's actually very familiar with the Forest Park neighborhood, and I think she's going to be a really good addition to the team, to the mayor's court. In addition to that, we also have a few other attorneys that can serve in a substitute capacity in the case that she isn't able to attend, myself included. But I just wanted the community to know that we are still continuing to fill vacant positions and update and add new employees just to provide the quality service that everyone deserves. And in addition to that, we still do have a few openings on our Economic Development Commission. So we would like residents who have expertise in business development, business retention, who are interested in serving in an advisory capacity to fill out applications. Come up to City Hall, grab an application. Economic Development meets on the third Wednesday of the month, I believe. So if anyone would want to join, we have 2 positions open. So please, please, please consider lending your expertise to bringing new businesses and business opportunities to Forest Park. And with that, that concludes my report. So moving on to item number 7 on the agenda, which is the city manager's report. So Don?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'll make mine fairly quick here, just a few announcements. I want to thank everyone who had all the volunteers and all the staff for the most recent Party in the Park. It was the first one of the year. It was a great success. Over 300-plus people there, and looked like everyone had a great time. We were blessed with great weather. It was nice and cool that evening. But the next one is going to be July 11th, and so it's coming up. And it'll be salsa night. We'll have a tent, and we're going to have a dance floor out there. So dust off your dancing shoes and come on out. We'll have a nice evening. There'll be food trucks there as well, and stuff to do for the kids. So come on out and just enjoy a nice evening in the park. We also had our first food truck event last week, and or 2 weeks ago, and it was a great event. Again, over 200 folks attended. I think we had 4 or 5 food trucks, and it was such a good success. We're planning our next one. It'll be coming up mid-July. I think it's the 20th, but check our website and our Facebook page for the exact date. Again, it'll be 6 to 8 o'clock in Central Park. All these events are occurring in Central Park. I want to remind everybody about fall soccer signups. The deadline is July 9th. So if you have a kid wants to get into fall soccer, make sure they're signed up. Again, the deadline is July 9th. Our movie night will be the first one we've had. We're starting something new this year. We're going to give it a shot. August 17th, movie in the park. Again, it'll be at Central Park. Again, check our website, check our Facebook page for more information. I do want to mention that we had some questions. Rumpke, their service over the 4th, which will be tomorrow, this whole week, they are picking up as usual, so no changes to their schedule. So they'll be picking up tomorrow and the rest of the week as well. So if Rumpke, if your trash day is tomorrow, make sure you get it set out this evening, and if it's nothing else changed through the rest of the week. And I want to remind everyone also, we're starting every Monday night, we're having, I think it's 6:30 at our senior center. We're doing extreme hip hop. It's an exercise class. It's inside at the senior center. It's open to everyone, not just seniors, all ages, all fitness levels. First class is free. After that is a small charge, but if you wanted to give it a shot, come on out, do a little something different. It's extreme hip hop, and we're going to try that at our senior center. It's a great success, and should be a lot of fun. So check that out and come on out on Monday.
All right, thank you for that, Don. Does anybody have any questions for our city manager?
City manager, can you please tell us for the Extreme Hip Hop what time that is on Monday
I
evening?
believe it's 6:30 Monday evenings.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right, thank you for that, Don. We're going to move on to item number 8, which is other reports. We're going to start with our law director, Mr. John Wyckoff.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple items. I have prepared an ordinance regarding the property over on Waycross that has to have the pool debris remedied. I think you'll be probably considering that next meeting or so. And also, I responded, as I'm required to every year, to Plattenberg and Associates regarding our audit. Thank you. Lost that word for a second. So I have completed that project and sent the detailed letter into Plattenberg.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for that, John. Does anybody else have any questions for our law director? All right, hearing none, we're going to move on to our clerk of council, Ms. Takia Bailey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to report that resolution number 29-2023 was posted as required, and that concludes my report.
All right, thank you for that, Takia. Moving on to, well, item 9 is unfinished business and general orders, and then we can move past that to new business, item number 10. So I need a motion to suspend.
I would like to make a motion to suspend the rules requiring the reading in full and read resolution number 29-2023 by title only.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
Only that this resolution was posted 6 days prior to the meeting.
Thank you for that, First Vice Mayor Holt. Will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to suspend?
Adams,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester.
Yes.
Okay. Motion to suspend passes 6-0. Will the clerk please read resolution number 29-2023 by title only?
Resolution number 29-2023, requesting the Hamilton County Auditor to place liens against various properties by the City of Forest Park Public Works Department.
Thank you for that, Takia. Is there a motion, Councilmember Sylvester?
Yes, I motion for resolution number 29-2023.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion, Councilmember?
I believe, based on the communication that the residents that's involved with this resolution has received communication in regards to the cost of fees that's involved. So it's a process that has been initiated and should continue to follow through. So with that motion, I motion that we adopt resolution number 29-2023.
Thank you for that. Will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Brown,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester,
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
Okay, resolution number 29-2023 passes 6-0. And that concludes all the new business. So is there any other business to come before the body?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
afterthought in regards to work session, I'd like to add line item that property that have been engaged with fire incidents, how the city engaged with property owners that deal with property is at a level of,
Okay.
do they work through it, or, just for clarity, because we had an incident and stands out, so,
Okay. So I'll add that to the work
Thank you.
session items.
thank you.
All right, now, is there any other business to come before the body? Is there any other business to come before the body? Is there any other business to come before the body? All right, council meeting adjourned.